Hey everybody! Hi! I'm gonna wait for Stephanie Cake to tell me if she can hear me on the screen. Okay, good. Stephanie Cake, thank you so much for just being there, supporting, and thank you everybody for being out there. It's time for Quilt Nerd, and it is Tuesday night, and I really like a Tuesday. I like a Monday too. I like a Monday, I like a Tuesday. I like what I do, you know? So when the work week comes, I'm sort of like ready to jump in. I was not ready to do much makeup or hair tonight because I don't know. It's the day I had to renew my driver's license today, and I was kind of I made it just in time. Because Labor Day was yesterday. In fact, the show tonight is going to sort of observe one day late Labor Day and how important that day is. I labored a little, but not too much. So I had to renew my driver's license, and of course it took a very long time. Everything's cool, but that kind of threw me off because I had to do that. And then, life. Hey everybody, Quilting Politic, and by the way, YouTube should be working okay. Hey, it's Lulu Paperbird, and we got the Sewing Kitty. The Sewing Kitty. I mean, everything's fine now. Everything's fine now. Everything's fine now with the Sewing Kitty. Thank you so much, everybody who's subscribing, and everybody who has been a subscriber. Those of you who are new, I was going to say that YouTube should be working okay, but Facebook, we're having trouble with Facebook, and it's maybe a Twitch problem. It could be a Streamlabs problem. Actually, it could be a Facebook problem. We don't know. It could be a me problem. I have problems. I got lots of problems. So usually these days we've been trying out multi-streaming to YouTube and Facebook, and it's been really, really cool, and new people are finding the show, and it's exciting to be doing that. If you are watching on YouTube, we are a shoestring operation around here. We're a scrappy bunch, and we have memberships on Twitch. We have subscriptions to this show that really help support what we do here. It takes some resources to make this show, and it seems, I don't know, it's interesting being a content creator doing this kind of thing. I never realized quite how much it takes, because we do giveaways and we have to ship things, and the internet and the office and all that stuff. It really does take a lot of money. I keep sort of going around like the word money, but it takes a lot of money, and it would be great if you subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can't subscribe through YouTube yet because, like I said, it's a shoestring operation. We don't have the resources to have like a subscription manager yet. So the only way that Quilt Nerd can really have subscriptions yet right now is to do it through Twitch. So if you want to chat, if you want to be entered in giveaways, if you want to have the fun emotes and stuff, you can watch the show for free on YouTube. You can also watch it for free on Twitch. But if you want to engage in the show, come over to Twitch, because the memberships and the chat and all that stuff is just too much for us right now on the multiple platforms. And I'm not making excuses or apologizing. We're very proud of what we're doing here, but we're growing. We're still small, So I appreciate you watching whatever platform. And if you're in the replay crew, thank you for watching the replay. So I'm going to say hi to people, and M. Hicks, I'm seeing M. Hicks, and Quilting Politic, and Peace Love Puppies. Everybody, welcome to Quilt Nerd. And let's see, Padma's here, and my great cats, Susan Armichael, Theodore coming in with that music. My friend from college was in here the other day. That was wild. Jan Make Stuff is here, and Penny Catherine, Myra, and the Earth Girl now, and it's okay. It is okay. Sonia, it's great to see you. Lady K is back. I'm so glad. And Yvonne's here. Everything's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Betsy Dragonfly, Mama Llama, it's good to see you too. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, but that's probably not true. Saturday night was like a crack-up show with my sister. It was a lot of fun. It was wild. And Bip is here. It's good to see you, Bip. Dee Dee Brew Crew. Kiwi Kathy. Kiwi Kathy, you must be in, you're New Zealand, because you say it's Wednesday morning. You're in the future. How's the weather? Estrada is back, and so on Positive Threads. Tani is here. God bless you. Quiltish. Hi from Ontario, the Ontario side of Lake Ontario. Love it. I love it. A nun maker. Everybody's here. Penny, Catherine. So, Mademoiselle Larry. Lovely. Giovanna, you liked the show on Saturday? Oh, my collar's all messed up. All right. So, yeah, I liked it too. How do you move that Betsy pig around on the screen? Why don't you put it on your... I can do that. I can put bets on my... Watch this. I like it up there. It's like a little fascinator. Yes. Actually, it's kind of cool, right? Cake, what do you think? It is kind of nice. It's like, yes. Yeah.
I mean, like that's fascinator.
You like the fascinator? Speaking of fascinators, Stephanie Cake, how are you doing? If you're new to the show, if you're not new to the show, you know Stephanie Cake. But if you're new, I have a really good helper. I have a right-hand woman, and her name is Stephanie Cake. Stephanie Cake, tell me something good. How's it going?
It is going well, and I had a bunch of chocolate before this. So is that good?
Yes, that is so good. It's so good. I had some Toblerone. You know, earlier today, the Toblerone, I don't know, those little bits in it, it's good, but I feel like I'm going to pull out a cavity, pull out a filling or something. You know, they're real sticky little bits. You know what I have to say to those bits?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, those little toffees. Yeah, I've done a lot of dental work. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of chocolate did you have?
Well, if my Eastern Seaboard friends might know the elusive Mallow cup, which is made, I believe, in Pennsylvania, and it is a sort of looks like a Reese's peanut butter cup, but it is filled with marshmallow cream and a little bit of coconut.
Oof, the Mallow cup.
And it's delicious. Yeah.
That sounds good. That sounds very good. You know, I'm fond of Nutella and graham crackers. So, yes, I like my chocolate. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that you all are here. And I will say briefly, so I'm working on an intro video for this show that will play, you know, before I come on, that tells you about how to subscribe and why you should subscribe. And I've been working on it, and it's taking kind of a while because video is hard, but also because it's going to be Bets. It's Bets, and this is Bets. She's one of our little mascots. And also, I'm going to put her on my shoulder. How about that? And also, well, that looks a little strange. Okay, and also Scone, which is the red panda over there. They're going to do the intro video. So I'm learning how to do extremely rudimentary animation because I feel like you all see me enough, you know, during the show, maybe for that intro video that kind of gives you the lay of the land, tells you about live streaming, how it's like, it's a casual kind of thing. It's a different format for a lot of people who are quilt people, but it's good, it's chill. You can sort of do whatever you're doing, have me on in the background, or sew and just like sew something wrong because you're so fascinated by the cool quilt history we're looking at and all that. And Scone and Harry and Bets are going to talk about, you know, why Twitch, right? It's a live streaming platform. It was built for this, and we have fun over here. And I was actually on YouTube today looking at some stuff and just fixing things on my channel. You should subscribe to my channel, by the way. That would be great. It's Yo Mary Fons, youtube.com/Yo Mary Fons. And I was like, you know, YouTube. I don't know, Twitch is different. I gotta be different, man. I gotta be me. What can I say? I don't like combing my hair. I don't know. I gotta be a rebel. I just gotta do it. Even if it hurts. Everything hurts sometimes. So anyway, so you should come over here and you should enjoy the show because the show is for you. If you are interested in quilt history, quilt culture, if you want to be inspired for your own quilt making, be inspired by art. Tonight, for example, we're going to look briefly at some Georgia O'Keeffe. We're going to look at some Georgia O'Keeffe because quilts are art, and a lot of times there's a lot of crossover and a lot of cross-pollination between fine art and quilt making. And not to say quilt making is not fine art, but I'm talking about sort of the art gallery, art establishment kind of thing. You know, they've always had a strange relationship with quilts, you know. So we talk about that kind of thing here, and yeah, and maybe you'll be inspired to make a quilt of your own, or maybe you'll have an idea for your next one. So that's it, and it's not me giving a lecture. I give lectures. Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what? Steph, I don't think I told you this. I think I can say it. I don't know. So I gave the lecture in Birmingham, England, and a person from the Quilt Guild of the British Isles emailed me and asked me if I could give a special presentation to part of the guild. Exciting, right? Really exciting. So I'm going to do that, and that was really rewarding. It's the judges committee or something. So she was like, the value of your lecture was just so great, and I think that the judges committee needs to see it. So will you do it? I'm like, yeah, of course I'll do it. So that's cool. So I do that, and those are just polished, but this is an exploration with you. And so I don't know what I don't know. I've got some content queued up, and we're just gonna see what happens. What do you say about that, Harriet? I mean, Bets. Sorry, it's from Harriet Power's Bible quilt, this little animal. But she does actually have a name, and her name is Bets. What do you think, Bets? I think that sounds pretty good. Oh yeah? Well, let's have some fun. Okay, I like fun. Okay. Well, I better get small. What do you think? Because we start always with the quilt behind me. Oh, look at that quilt. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. Isn't it wonderful? This quilt just took my breath away. In fact, this show for a moment was called Quilt Church. And that's why we have a little church sound. The soundboard is hours of fun. And so this quilt is, oh yeah, Myra, yeah. This quilt is something I found in, it's at the National Quilt Museum, the national one. So in Paducah, and I found it. And did we have a link for this, Steph? Oh, we do. Oh, good. So we're Abe Books affiliates. I'm going to zoom in on this quilt. Don't you worry. We get a little kickback. I always joke about how little the kickback really is when you order a book through Abe Books using our affiliate link, which Stephanie Cake will put in the chat right now for this book. Whee! But you know what? I mean, it adds up. If everybody watches this show live, and then everybody watches this show on the replay, and everybody orders a book, I mean, we'd be in the money. You know what we'd have to do? Champagne. Okay, so this quilt, I saw it, and it just really grabbed me, and I thought, well, I want to know more. And it reminded me of Georgia O'Keeffe, of course, right? Georgia O'Keeffe. And I thought about, I thought about flowers. I thought about, the feminine mystique, if you will. And I thought, well, I think that would be a really nice intro quilt for the show tonight. And the intro quilt just kind of kicks us off, it's just a place to start. Where's my thing? Okay, great. Page 35. All right. So this quilt is called Incantation. Incantation. And it was made in 1984. I'm going to come in here and just kind of, we'll go in on the piecing a little bit more closely, right? It was made by a woman.
It's funny that you say incantation, because a couple of people have said Disney-esque, Maleficent, and I'm seeing like the wings, like fairy tale wings.
Oh my God, that is very strange. It's a little bit strange because, yeah, exactly, incantation. It's perfect, right? Yeah, Maleficent and I get it. I love it. And by the way, I mean the way, and we're going to read about it. I have just a little bit of information about it. But it looks almost burned or something. I mean, the hand dyeing is really interesting. Okay, Janice Anthony made this quilt. It's 29 by 44. They're always smaller than you think they are in the picture, I think. She's from Maine, or at least at the time this was published in 1991. She was living in Maine, Janice Anthony. It's cottons, painted silk, and the painted, so it's painted, it's not dyed. Okay, so she used fiber reactive dyes for this. And let me just, here, I'm just going to leave it just like that. Machine and hand pieced and hand quilted. And Janice Anthony says of this piece, Incantation, quote, "My pieces attempt to communicate a sense of invisible life within seemingly inanimate forms, a hidden current of vitality through the universe with an order and harmony like the music of the spheres. These somewhat surrealist structures follow their own natural laws, inhabit their own spaces, and interact serenely beyond our conscious awarenesses. Incantation is influenced by a sense of the manifestation of the spiritual in the physical world. Light streams from an outside source to be contained and to inspire wherever it is willingly received." Oh. Well done, Janice. I love it. I think it's great. And what's funny is, you think about the time period when this was made. I mean, it's that mauve. Oh, I know that mauve, right? 1980, 1984. Very mauve. Oh, yeah, Judy Chicago vibe. Oh, I completely get it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sue, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, Auntie Sen. Auntie Sen, I got to tell you, I got to confess. I shipped your book today. I'm sorry. I should apologize to you, Stephanie. Auntie Sen won the book giveaway in August, and I just shipped it today. I'm sorry, but it is with the Postal Office of the United States. And actually, you won 2 books. It's a 2-book pack. It'll be worth the wait. I apologize. It was a holiday weekend. I have no excuse. I should have done it last week. I apologize, but it's on the way.
All good things are worth waiting for.
You know what Stephanie says? She says all good things are worth waiting for. And I agree. I agree. Yes. So it is on the way. So then I was like, hey, what about Georgia O'Keeffe? What's up with Georgia O'Keeffe? What if we took a look at maybe there's some other quilts that were inspired? I mean, because Janice didn't talk about any Georgia O'Keeffing. I think I'm kind of like, okay, yeah. But I saw that, and some of you may have also seen that. Rich Rudley, hey, Rich Rudley, you're over in YouTube land. That's so cool. I can see you in my chat. That's great. We're learning things all the time about chat integration. Sometimes it just does it on its own, which is really nice. Rich, it's great. It's great to see you. I'm so glad you have a little YouTube sticker by your name. And you said hello. Hello, Mary and quilting friends. You're in New Jersey, and we are glad you're here. We love the new people. I mean, I think you're new. Whatever you are, Rich, you're welcome here. Hey, Robin, eat your coat. So this quilt is by a woman named Judy O'Connor, and it's called Ode to Georgia O'Keeffe. And when I was looking for more Georgia O'Keeffe quilts, it was kind of a mad dash. So let me find for you Judy O'Connor. And there were a couple others. There were a couple others that I found. There's one on Etsy. I didn't put it in the show because the picture wasn't great. But on Etsy, if you search for Georgia O'Keeffe quilt, you will see it, and it's I think $2,600 or something like that. It didn't speak to me deeply, so I did not put it in the show. But there are other Georgia O'Keeffe quilts, right? Not surprisingly. So this one, Sakwa had this quilt in their online gallery, Judy O'Connor. And Judy O'Connor lives in Kansas. This quilt is 10 inches by 7 inches. That's right, 10 inches by 7 inches. And it's, Judy O'Connor Chaffee. I know, it's tiny. What is that? I mean, I don't even understand that. It's like, yes, it's like this. I mean, a ruler is like this, so it's like this. That's wild. 10 inches by 7 inches. There it says. And what I can tell you about this is that it is cotton, art canvas, polyester thread. It is freehand thread painted. Okay? And here's what I can tell you about this. Judy says, this work is a thread art representation of Georgia O'Keeffe and her beautiful works. Over 40 shades of thread were used to create this thread painting on a domestic machine. 40 shades of thread. It's a lot of thread. It's a lot of color. It's very nice. I thought it was very nice. Yeah. So out in Kansas, that's really, I feel like maybe she made this for, it's a great reason to make a mini quilt, right? A mini art quilt. Like maybe there was some sort of show or something that inspired her to do something small like that. I don't know. It's great. I like it. And I'm not a huge thread painting fan. It's not something that I'm like, oh, let me run to that as much. The quilt world is so big, and there's so many different kinds of quilts and so many different kinds of people and styles and things that you like or you don't like. It's totally okay to have preferences, and thread painting isn't my number one preference, but I really, really like this. So pretty cool, right?
I like this too. And you know what? I think for me, thread painting, and again, same thing. I did the things I like. I know are not for everyone either, but I think thread painting works really well on a smaller scale like this. It's very painterly, right?
Yeah. And yes.
Because until you said it was that tiny, I kind of thought maybe I wasn't sure how it was made.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just at first glance.
Well, it's interesting because like scale is so important, right? If you're making art, it's like if you're going to make an abstract painting, a lot of those abstract paintings are really big, really big. There's a lot of different kinds of abstract painting, but like you think about Rothko and Pollock and like, Lee Krasner, and it's like these things were really huge, and there's a reason for that, right? The artist makes something, and Steph, you're a creator, you're a maker, you're an artist. How big is the thing going to be, right? It's like it's a pretty important consideration.
It is. And sometimes it ends up bigger or smaller than you intended.
Yeah. Or
depending on how much you have to chop off of it that unintended mistakes.
Exactly. So let's see. This one, so this is Georgia O'Keeffe. Okay, Georgia O'Keeffe, the great painter and sculptor, and probably all the things. 1887 to 1986. This is a work called Poppy, and some people are just gaga for Georgia O'Keeffe. I love her. I think it's great. I actually saw a sculpture in a person's home recently, a Georgia O'Keeffe sculpture in their like atrium. Like I was like, oh, it was really cool. Some people are, just crazy for her. I've always admired her, just great, but again, with preferences, right? But this piece, I could die and go into this piece, and I would be like, well, I guess this is what heaven's like. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It just looks even better than a poppy, in real life. So when I found this picture after I found this quilt. This quilt is by Ann Kessel, Kessel, and it's called Georgia O'Keeffe. Oh no, maybe it's just called Poppy, but I put Georgia O'Keeffe in my file name so I could remember, I could search for this later if I wanted to. It was made in 2011. And Steph, I think I gave you might have already done it. I gave you her website, I think, Kessel, in that message to you, because I don't know too much about her, and we want to get to some other stuff tonight. But so this is inspired by that painting. Yeah, Penny Catherine, I think I'm a fan of these poppies. I just love it. Another thing that you get when you join as a subscriber to Quilt Nerd over here on Twitch, you get access to our Discord. And Discord, I think, is becoming a thing that more and more people are using. The kids these days, they're all using Discord. But we call our Discord the Disco, because there's not a lot of Discord on it. But it's really fun. And somebody just said, M. Hicks just said, hey, Estra, I'll post photos in the Disco so everyone can enjoy. And actually, M. Hicks, I don't know what you were talking about. Hey, around to it. It's so good to see you. Thanks for watching on YouTube. I'm really glad you're here. And I'm glad that you're in the chat. That's awesome. And welcome baskets. Yeah, if we could get some welcome baskets for the new folks from YouTube, that would be amazing. And thank you to my mods, and thank you to everybody who's helping out. So anyway, let's see. You said it feels upside down. Is it upside down? Could it be? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I mean, I see, I get what you're saying. Maybe, was it upside down? Maybe it was upside. I swear this is how I saw it online. Anyway, but yeah, so when you get when you're a subscriber, you get to be in the Discord, and that's kind of where the show happens, and where when it's not on, you can have chat with people and message people, and the community's pretty great. And Discord's kind of how we hang out. It's like the clubhouse, you know. It's pretty cool. So anyway, so Ann Kessel made this after Georgia O'Keeffe's Poppy, and I think I have a couple other pictures. No, this is the one. Pretty cool. In 2011. Kitty Hannah says, that quilt is amazing. These kinds of quilts seem so artsy-fartsy and out of my league. Hey, Jan Makes Stuff. Oh, I think I said hi to you before. Scrapitude, hey. Is my mother here? My mother is here. Mom, you were out of line on Saturday night. No, I'm just kidding. It's Mom, I'm so glad you're here. Mom, I miss you. I do, I miss you. You were in town for another event. You breezed through, and we didn't get to see each other, but you're here in the chat. So anybody who knows Marianne Fons, say hi to her in the chat because she's here. Mom, how are you doing? How are you doing? I'm driving, so I'm only listening. Okay, that's good, but it will be fun. You better not be chatting. We are on the final 100 miles home to Winterset. Yay, that's good. Almost home. I like it. I need to come to Winterset for a visit. So I'm not going to ask Mom to answer any questions because she's driving. So just keep your eyes on the road. So you know how this show works is I look for something and it's wonderful, or I see something in a book, just like it happened tonight. I saw that wonderful quilt, Incantation by Janice Anthony, and I'm just for people who just got here, this is the quilt that we opened the show with, okay? And it was like, oh, this seems so feminine. It seems very, I don't know, yonic? Is that a word? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So then I was like, okay, we got to look at Georgia O'Keeffe. And then I was looking at, so the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum is a thing. I'm sure it's in Santa Fe, right? It's got to be in Santa Fe. Because that's where she lived, I believe, or yeah, Albuquerque, something like that. Anyway. And so, hey, Jody. Hey, Jody says, finally making a live show. A little late, but I'm here. Hey, Marianne. Listen, you know what, Jody? You're right on time. You are right on time, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for watching. The Georgia O'Keeffe Museum sells merch, not surprisingly. And when I see a great polka dot, and I know my mom's the same way. Don't look, Mom. I'm serious. Don't. Anyway, when I see a great polka dot, and when I see a great polka dot scarf, there might be problems. There could be some problems, because I do like a good polka dot, and I do like a scarf. And so this scarf is for sale. I think I found it. Look at this. Isn't this great? This is a great scarf. Now I'm going somewhere with this, so don't you worry. The skulls in the corner. I mean, this is kind of like, I don't know how much it is, but I'll tell you, if anybody needs a gift exchange gift, I think this is pretty neat. I think it's a pretty neat, Hannah, on Saturday night, Hannah talked about some weaving, wonderful. We talked about some different kinds of textiles. We keep this thing pretty tight on quilts because it's Quilt Nerd. But we are, and you can use this term. I didn't come up with it, but someone very smart did. We are textilians around here. I said that word to you, Steph. Textilians, isn't that good? We are textilians. And so we can look at any textile that we please. And so, yes, sometimes scarves may come into the show. And like I said, I'm going somewhere with this. So here's another color. I love a good navy blue. And this is all this Georgia O'Keeffe Museum scarf business. Well, I happen to know that scarves have been used for quilts to great effect, to wonderful effect. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. So when I was researching for my lecture, Showstoppers, masterpieces from the masterpiece quilts from the UK and the US, I was looking at this book. Wow, that doesn't like it. So it's Welsh Quilts by Jen Jones. Jen Jones, who is, I mean, she is Welsh Quilts, right? Jen Jones has the shop, and she's a collector, and I don't think we've watched, there's a couple of videos with Jen Jones on YouTube. I feel like a long time ago we might have looked at that. Oh my God, that motorcycle is so annoying. Hang on. Love that mute button. Okay. So this is published by Quilt Mania. And we may have looked at something. Estrada says there was a wonderful paper on her careful curation of her style. Indeed. And we have talked about Welsh quilts a couple times, but I mean, the show's going to be on for a long time because, like, we're not going to do one episode on Welsh quilts. Like, no. Anyway, so honey, I just wanted to give you this shout out for your comment. A quilt made of Hermes scarves. Great, cool. I'm in. We need a rich benefactor around here. Is anyone a rich benefactor? Call me. Okay. So because we could just make, we can make quilt and we could sell them. We can make Hermes scarf quilts and sell them in the Quiltner shop for $5 million. Okay, so what you're looking at here.
Hey Mary, how is this book different than the other Jen Jones? I guess, which is like the American Jen Jones Welsh Quilts book.
Well, you know what?
There's literally one copy of this on ebooks.
Oh, really? So, really?
Yeah.
You know what?
But you can get the other one.
Yeah, let me see. Where is... Yeah. Okay. So this is the one. This is the other one, right? Sorry. Yeah, Making Welsh Quilts. Is that Jen Jones? No, that's Mary Jenkins.
No, it's where'd it go?
I mean, Quilt Mania is a French publisher. They do, well, yeah, Quilt Mania is the magazine and stuff. So I told Steph, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be on books, but there is one copy. That surprises me.
It's one that, it looks different. It's a soft cover. And I'm wondering if it's the soft cover guide or version of it that they put out there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just got one quilt on the cover.
Interesting. So. Well, I don't know where did I get this thing? Did I get it in Europe? I don't know. Did I get it in Europe? I annoyed myself with that. Did I get it in Europe? I can't remember. Where's my Hermes scarf?
Some quilt shops do carry Quilt Mania books and magazines.
It's true. And no shade whatsoever toward anyone ever, but like, they put the spine is reversed on, I mean, I don't know if it's a French thing, but whatever. So it drives me insane on my bookshelf, so I have to turn it because it's like, it's opposite, you know? So I have to turn it like this. I have to turn it upside down. Anyway, life's really hard, Mary. Okay, so anyway, sorry. Remember, if you're like, this is not like a show I've ever seen, you're right. It's a live stream. We're just hanging out. Okay. So this is, let me get to this, sorry. This is Jen Jones talking about this. This is a red Paisley panel quilt. Okay. Hey, L. Riggs. Quote, red Paisley was exceedingly popular. So this is Jen Jones, okay, talking about Welsh quilts. Okay. Red Paisley was exceedingly popular for use in quilt making, especially during the late 19th and early 20th century, and the diversity of prints is glorious. As with busy florals, the stitching in these is substantially lost due to the complexity of the fabric design. However, they are vibrantly ornate and make wonderful decorative accessories. So this is a quilt made from a Paisley scarf. Yes, a shawl. Okay, a shawl. Yes. Hang on now. Hang on. I want to show you this one because the one I just showed you is obviously a big piece of Paisley. This one in particular is a finely woven Paisley shawl. Framed in red wool, okay, yeah, with fine stitching. 1900. 1900. So, you know, the Georgia O'Keeffe scarf made me think of this because, yeah, you can take a scarf that you have, perhaps you don't wear it anymore. There's no rules. You don't have, why can't you make a blanket out of it? I mean, you know, and I just said the B word, but, you know, why can't you make something out of it that's not, put it on the back of your quilt? And it's tough when you start mixing, you know, different materials, different substrates. You know, if you put a Hermes, look, I know you have so many Hermes scarves, you're like, I wouldn't wear that again. So if you put it as, you know, use it as a backing on your quilt, and the rest of your quilt is like broadcloth, like cotton broadcloth, you could have some serious problems with your sewing machine. So this is not a show where I'm going to teach you how to do that. But, you know, some beautiful scarf that's like really old or that you don't wear but you don't want to get rid of, I mean, do as the Welsh do, or at least as the Welsh did with these beautiful Paisleys that they loved. Now, I just want to make sure. So here's a great detail shot of this. You can really see the quilting. The B word, I know. Hey, sweet pea. So honey, not bougie dumpsters. Not bougie dumpsters. Ella Riggs just came in. Somebody else just came in. Who did I miss? Anyway. Beautiful quilting, and yeah, the shawl thing just kind of blew me away. And I think, okay, so this is more of a panel quilt. This isn't a shawl piece, I don't think. This isn't necessarily, but isn't it great? That red wool and the paisley. I don't know. It was interesting. Yeah, looking at material for that UK and US showstopper lecture, I learned a lot. I mean, I didn't realize that in Scotland, you know, they were a huge producer of turkey red. I mean, of course, in the UK, there was a lot of textile manufacturing in the 19th century. But I didn't realize, you know, Scotland was like super into the turkey red. Okay, so I've got a brief, just a interlude. Apparently, this show is becoming the cross-stitch show, the cross-stitch quilt show. Because every single time I open a book, I find another cross-stitch style quilt. You could call them mosaic quilts if you want. We have called them that. We have looked at many of them at this point. I mean, the folder is growing and growing. Oh, Sweet Pea came in. Hey, Sweet Pea. The folder is growing with all of these cross-stitch style quilts. And we've called them 8-bit quilts, you know, digital quilts, you know, but they have a name, at least one. The thing is with quilt patterns and quilt blocks, I mean, there's no standard like nomenclature for these things. You know, people just sort of, you can have one block that's called an Ohio Star and someone else calls it a Indiana Star, Iowa Star, whatever, and that's okay. So there may be another name yet that I don't know about the mosaic quilt or the cross-stitch quilt. But once again, we have one here. They just keep turning up, people, because in the book that where I found the incantation, our intro quilt, same book, the National Quilt Museum collection. This quilt is called Flower Basket. And by the way, so all of those half square triangles, I mean,
they're about the size of a postage stamp, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah. They're so small. So this, oh, wow, okay. This is my favorite part of any show, is when I read something on camera for the first time, and I'm like this, oh my God! Sorry. I don't want that to be like a gimmick, you know, where it's like, you know, I don't want to, let's kick it up a notch, you know. So if I ever have a catchphrase, I mean, anyway. So I have, okay, enough. This is called Flower Basket, and it's by Cletha Bird. Cletha, Cletha, Cletha Bird. And it is 95 by 100 inches. If you're not aware of quilt sizes, 95 by 100 is really big. Like a lap size quilt in general, on average, is like 60 by 80. That's just like a, you know, kind of sort of lap size. So, you're on the couch, you got a little quilt on you. 90 by 100 is big. If you get into the 3 digits, you're talking huge. So let's see what Cletha has to say for herself. Okay. A picture of a very famous and beautiful quilt by Grace Snyder. You know this quilt nerds. You know the one. I'll show it to you in a second. I know just where to go. Inspired me. Sorry. A picture of a very famous and beautiful quilt by Grace Snyder inspired me to make my own flower basket quilt. What a challenge for a first quilt. What a sorry.
Okay, you said first quilt?
Yes, quote. What a challenge for a first quilt. To try to create something that even resembled her would be quite an achievement. Yes, Cletha. Yes, it would. Please tell me how many pieces are in this. Okay. Okay. Had I known more about the challenges of quilt making, I am sure that I would not have tried that particular design. Oh, God. There's a lot in that sentence.
I wouldn't have tried cutting fabric into 1 centimeter square pieces and sewing them back together.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, Tani? I just saw your comment. I completely agree. Hey, Brenda. Brenda, what's up? Oh, my God. It's so good to see you. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm so glad you're here, Brenda. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Yeah, Tani just said, Joyce Fibers just said, we are all a little crazy with our first quilts we learn. My first quilt was a half square triangle extravaganza. I didn't know that I shouldn't do that. There's 2,400 pieces in it. There's like 1,200 half square triangles in that quilt. I just didn't know that I shouldn't do that. I didn't know, because I dove in. Because I'm really self-taught. I am, even though that sounds strange, but I didn't really know how to make quilts before I just started making them. And by the way, I think you can see all of the white. Those are all individual pieces. Right? Or is that quilted? No, they're all pieced. Aren't they?
And see, that's the thing. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. And I'm thinking, you don't need to do that, y'all.
I know.
You could at least do strips.
I know. She didn't know. 1986, Dee Marie, I saw your question. Sorry, 1986, and machine pieced and hand quilted. So anyway, there's a little bit more about this. I wouldn't have done it, she says. Paraphrasing. I encountered many problems and almost gave up many times. But my husband and son kept encouraging me to finish it. That's nice. Now, quilting has become an essential part of my life. It didn't kill her. It didn't kill her soul, you guys. I attend many quilt shows in order to be inspired by the beautiful designs and innovative techniques other quilters have used in making beautiful works of art.
I say bravo. That lady climbed the Mount Everest of quilts in her first try.
She did indeed. And what I'm going to do is, you're so nerdy when you watch this show. Hang on, Petty Point. Hold on, Grace. I'm going to show you the quilt that inspired her, but I know many of you have it in your mind, even, I suspect. It's Petty Point baskets. Oh yeah, here we go. Sometimes my image game is just on point. On Petty Point. Oh, God. Sorry. This is the best part of my day. My day was not great, and now it's like really fun. Yeah, Petty Point baskets, and this one is. I mean, I could tell you how many pieces are in it, but it's a lot. It's so many. Pam says, my friend made her first quilt out of wool and silk. Oh, God. And she was holding that quilt on her lap in the summertime in the South. Oh, God. She swore she'd never make another one, and she never did. Oh, really? So she was like, no, the poor thing. Bless her heart. I don't blame her. It's really hard. Court Quilt says, why not try a beautiful quilt on your first go? It will either make you hate quilting or you will be very proud. I dive into hard projects, but I do not learn to hold back. Yeah, like same. I'm going to put a pie emote Can I? Oh, no, actually I can't. Yeah, we have a little pie emote, and that means same. It's a little lemon meringue pie icon, and if you're over here on Twitch, you can use it, and anytime you want to agree with someone, just put in the pie. Same. Yeah, I just dive in, you know, and sometimes it's like, it's kind of ugly, you know, but I did it, you know. It's kind of how I feel. It's kind of how I feel about all this whole show. So anyway, so there is our yet another cross-stitch quilt to show you tonight. Okay, Steph, I didn't mention taking a cake break tonight. We don't always take a cake break. I mean, but I think I'm going to take a quick cake break because when I come back, the segment that I have for you, it's sort of like actually the main segment tonight is the second half of the show. Sometimes it's the first half, sometimes it's the second. But you know, it was Labor Day yesterday, and I feel that we need to observe that even belatedly. And so I hope that you will stick around. I need a quick break before I do that because, you know, I just want to make sure I'm settled, you know. And it's, I mean, do you know about the Mill Girls of Lowell? Do you know about the Lowell offering? Are you curious? Are you interested? What does this mean? Who are these people? Who are these girls? Well, you're going to know. And they are very, very relevant to the story of labor in America. Yeah, real good stuff. So I will be back in just a second. And Stephanie Cake, if you need a break, you just let me know and I can do the BRB screen. She's like, I figured. Okay, I will be RB. Here we go. Oh, I always do that. I know why, because it's set, when I come back, I put myself on the camera, you know, like during the show. And so then when I leave, anyway, cool story. Bye.
Hello, friends. Oh, wow, I'm seeing some more people, I think, that are coming from YouTube. This is fun. So I've been watching the chat, and, you know, I had noticed this before, and probably for quite a long time. We have a lot of nurses in the Quilt Nerd family. And so I know some of you got started quilting as kind of, I guess, that sense of relief, or, you know, just from the how tough things were during the pandemic. And then I also know some of you have been quilting forever. So it warms my heart that something like quilting can be, you know, a sense of relief for people when you're in a really, really tough profession. And of course, my nurses are special in my heart, even though I don't have any nurses in my family. I do love nurses. So there are lots of good things to nurses. So thank you guys. So Mary kind of did at the top of the show kind of the rundown of stuff. So I was just going to mention merch again. I don't think Mary talked about merch. And so if you're new here, we have Quilt Nerd merch. And let me put it in the chat like I usually do. In the chat. Boom. So right now we have some cool tote bags, some cool stickers, and then we have the t-shirts. And I don't know how many of you have gotten the t-shirts yet, but they are pretty darn cool. We have the turkey red t-shirt, of course, the antimony t-shirt, which is the, I guess, proper scientific name for that cheddar orange color that was popular, I guess, post-Civil War or right around the Civil War. And we have poison green. And then we have double pink, which was the first shirt I got, and I have a poison green on the way. So I'm excited about that. But as I was thinking today about merch and commercial type stuff, I just finished watching the Andy Warhol Diaries on Netflix. Has anybody seen that? Oh, yay! Auntie Sin ordered a poison green. Awesome. Oh, and hat and heart tote bag. Awesome. Oh, yep. Oh, M. Hicks has 3 of them. I love it. Okay. Oh, Myra, I didn't realize that you were a pandemic quilter. Well, that's wonderful. I kind of thought you've been jumping into some retreats and cool classes and stuff, so bravo. So, the Andy Warhol I guess it's a mini series, I guess, whatever they call that on Netflix when there's not going to be another season of it. It's just a limited series. But, you know, it really, Lady K, it's really good. It really brought me back to high school and college because I think Andy Warhol died, I think it was 87. So I think I was in high school, like maybe my freshman year? I'm trying to remember. I'm dating myself here. So my freshman year in high school, and you know, it just took me back to that time, you know, and it was before all the stuff that we have now, right? Oh, am I make it up for lost time? Yeah. But Andy Warhol, I kept asking myself, was he a person ahead of his time? Or was he a person who kind of was one of the leaders of where we are today? You know, that whole 15 minutes of fame. I mean, who has never heard of that quote? We all get our 15 minutes of fame. And essentially, we are living his prediction, I think, which I just thought was so interesting. And you know, I hadn't given him much thought in a long time, but he had a really profound impact on our world today. So if you haven't seen it yet and you have Netflix, I absolutely 100% recommend it. I will say there's a bit of raunchy stuff in there. I have to be honest. It doesn't bother me, but I know some folks are a little more sensitive to the raunch.
What are you talking about? What movie?
Yeah, I was talking about the Andy Warhol Diaries on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Yeah, it got into this stuff. You know, I mean, it did look at some of those films he made that were basically porn. But,
oh yeah, for sure.
Art porn, but yeah, you saw a lot of that. But you know, just looking at the you know, his work over his lifetime, and then when he collaborated with Basquiat, and sort of where he was at when he passed away, it was very interesting. It was very telling about where he felt he was in life. And you know, you kind of sit there and think to yourself, like, if only he could have lived till today. You know, I mean, he would be quite elderly now, but
yeah,
you know, just he would have loved today.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, I think he really did the whole 15 minutes of fame thing. I mean, because he was interested in fame, and people have said he sort of invented. I mean, there was Hollywood glamour, and there was, like, you know, mystique of, like, you know, the great artists and stuff, but I mean, fame, because media was doing its thing, and so Andy Warhol.
Yeah. You know, and you know, these days when I think Warhol, I think of the really iconic stuff, like the Velvet Underground cover, you know, the cover, album cover,
Marilyn,
and
Elvis.
You know, the soup can, and Marilyn Monroe, all the portraits, all that stuff. But I mean, during the 70s and 80s, I mean, the 80s particularly, I'd say that the last decade of his life, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, just everywhere. He was on the Love Boat. I didn't even know that. He was on the Love Boat.
You know what? That Love Boat.
Just as weird and awkward.
Yeah.
You know,
the Love Boat. Oh, sorry. Yes, exactly. He was in Tootsie, my favorite movie of all time. He has a cameo in Tootsie.
Does he?
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, wild.
It's crazy. Well, that's interesting. That's good to know. You know, actually, Steph, I don't want to alarm you because we don't have a time set for it yet. But, you know, we were talking about the Twitch watch party thing. Well, I'd like to do a poll at some point in the show tonight because I don't know when we're going to do it. But we've been thinking about, you know, other things to do with the show and everything. So with Twitch, this is just a brief interlude. I mean, Mom, you're not watching, but you're tuned into the show, and you've probably got at least like 70 miles left. So hopefully you're still listening and not writing in the chat, for heaven's sakes. But hopefully some of you are doing things where you need some company, because I'm just kind of loquacious tonight. What can I say? So Twitch is owned by Amazon, and thank you, Stephanie Cake, by the way, for your beautiful cake break. I know that you did a very good job. So Twitch is owned by Amazon, and so I learned that you can do something called a watch party. And remember when we I don't even want to talk about it. We tried to watch How to Make an American Quilt this summer for summer movie night. It was
fun. It was crazy.
I was sweating bullets the whole time because you can't. I was basically pirating. I mean, I didn't want to pirate a video, but to play a video on the screen, to play a movie on a screen with a group of people, it's really hard. Like, I don't want to talk about it, but it was fun. It was fun, but it was very hot in the room where I was, and I had to anyway. It was one of those learning curve moments where later you're like, when you're toasting champagne, like Cake and I'll be like, ah, ha, 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 with our Hermes scarves and all of you at some party, and we're like, oh, the Dom Perignon, just this vintage wasn't as good as the last one. Oh, remember when we tried to watch How to Make an American Quilt? Oh, those were the days, that first year. Look how far we've come. It was that kind of
We'll watch the videos from the Quiltner chat in a few years and just laugh and laugh.
Indeed. So anyway, it was really fun, but it was kind of crazy. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I just saw, if we need to source anything from the Andy Warhol Museum gift shop for the Campbell soup quilt, let me know. So, honey. Good to know. Good to know. Recorded. Screenshotted. Look at that. I just screenshotted that. Oh, I can turn off the fan. Oh no, I forgot it was on. Oh no. Oh, I bet that's better. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh no, the fan was on. I can make it now. There's just half the show left. Thank you, Susan. I didn't even, it's been on all day, so I didn't even think about it. Anyway. So you can do watch parties on Twitch. So Amazon Prime, if you are an Amazon Prime member, now this is the catch. I have to be an Amazon Prime member, which I am, because whatever Amazon wants, I do, apparently. And so if I'm an Amazon Prime member, as a Twitch creator, I can play legally and for free a movie that is allowed, right, to play from Amazon Prime Video. And the catch is that to watch the watch party, you also have to be an Amazon Prime member. Now, I want you to purchase a subscription to this channel. I do not want to encourage you to go be an Amazon Prime member, on my account. But if you are, we can watch movies together, and it's a watch party. And so I want to do one, and I don't know when it'll be. Okay, I don't know when it'll be. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out a good time for it. But it won't be quilt related, you guys. It'll just be it'll be fun. We'll hang out, because there is life beyond quilts. It's true. The reason I like quilts is because they're life. They're truly the sort of the essence of humanity and art and philosophy and all of that. So, I mean, what else is there? But there are other things, including a apparently very, very good documentary about Lucy and Desi, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. I'd like to watch it. And you know what? Amazon Prime will let us watch it together. So the poll that we're going to take, I actually wrote it down in case it did happen. After we do our little bit about the Lowell girls, the mill girls of Lowell, we're going to take a poll. We're going to watch 3 previews. If you could hang around, I would love it if you did. 3 previews for 3 documentaries that are available to watch together. And we'll see what y'all want to watch. Okay? They're really, it sounds fun, right? It sounds really fun. And, yeah. So we'll figure out when we want to do it, and then we're just going to do it. And maybe it'll be a thing. Quiltish couldn't get into the Lucy and Desi movie. It was very slow. Amy Poehler produced it. It doesn't mean anything. What about you? Maybe it's not going to win.
I have not seen it. It's on my watch list. But what I was going to say is I get it because, sometimes things that are acclaimed presentations can be slow. Mm-hmm. But is it slow when you're watching with a bunch of quilt nerds who have snarky things to say? I can assure you it is not. I'm
telling you. You know what I'll do? I'll get Harriet. Oh, sorry. I need to change her name in my little thing. I'll just put...
My Angelou is probably turning in her grave from the things we said during How to Make It.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'll just exactly, and I'll just move Bets around the screen, just in general, just move her around. She'll be she'll just get into Lucy's hair and all this anyway. So anyway, Snark would have helped. Yvonne, I'm in too. I think it'll be great. And I don't know, I was just looking at different things to do with the channel. Quilt Nerd is the core of the channel, but it's also true that I don't know, it's a live stream show. What else? What else do you want to do? And I mean, maybe some people will be like, I don't care about watching movies. We could
probably all get some sewing in.
I would love that. Like, I would love to sew and watch a movie. I need to keep, I don't know, I've never done that before, so we'll do it. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's take a look. Let me get small. Help, I'm small. Bets is your favorite emote, sweet peas and taters. She's pretty great. So I'm glad you like her. So this is what we're gonna do. So I am making a video right now. So I really liked making the Sarah Mary Taylor video. If you haven't watched it on YouTube, you should totally check it out. I really liked it. Liked making it. And so I'm working on more short videos like that. It's extraordinarily, like, I mean, I could make videos that are not, like, I don't know. I'm kind of particular. I want the videos that I make to be good, and so they take time because I care about, small details. And maybe I don't have to, but I just do. My name's on it, So it takes a little time, and I've got the intro video to work on. But the other YouTube video thing I'm working on is something about baby quilts. Yeah, children's quilts. And how they've changed. And this video, I'm hoping 5-6 minutes, like tops, But I looked at baby quilts from the 19th century, like early to mid-ish 19th century, and it's so interesting to compare them to baby quilts today. Baby quilts today are bright, and there's a lot of white space in baby quilts today. I mean, if you Google like modern baby quilt, or even baby quilt pattern or baby quilt white, solid white, and this is the modern quilt guild's influence, but we all know now, I mean, we all know now, we all kind of agree now that the modern quilt guild style, I mean, this is the institution now, this is the way, this is the landscape of the quilt world, the generations have turned. So baby quilts today have a lot of the white in them. Anyway, so it's like, why did that happen? What is the deal with that? What is the deal with that? Because baby quilts, this is all gonna make sense here in a second. Baby quilts, back in the day, this quilt is from 1889. So it's a little bit old. I mean, it's a little bit newer than some of them I was looking at. Let me just, let's see. This is a baby quilt from 19th century. It's a log cabin. This is a child's quilt. Okay, it's well, let's see. Hang on. This is okay. I've got so many. This is 1900. Okay, it's a little bit later. Of course, I'm finding all the ones that are later. This is 42 by 25. Okay, and it's great. But like, and it might be faded. I don't know. But I mean, quilts used to look different than today because a child's life was very different at that time. And so I'm making this video about that, about how children in the 19th century in most cases, and of course I'm talking about sort of like northeastern part of the country, New Englandish. I have to limit it to that because of course there were Black children whose lives were very different because they were enslaved. I mean, like, there's a lot of difference depending on the region where you were in the United States, but in general, up in the north, I can only speak about that in this particular video. I have to limit the scope or I'll screw it all up. Children were working. That area was an agrarian society. It was farms, and people, they did stuff for themselves, and so children were working as early as 6. I've been reading about this, as early as 6 years old, they were out like tilling the fields and helping their mother cook and, all of that. Anyway, so into the 19th century, for lots of different reasons, I'll sort of cut to the chase here, a child's comfort became more important than this family continuity thing, where people were helping. And because of industrialization, people were moving to towns and cities, and they were going to, the woman's economic contribution to the home diminished because they were in towns and cities, and the woman wasn't sewing all the clothes because she could buy them, and the man was not going to farm the field because he was going into the city to be a banker or to be a cobbler or whatever it was. So baby quilts changed because society changed, and that's why I love quilts, because they reflect the changes of our world, and that's fascinating to me. It's a material culture. So I was thinking about all that, and I have all of these pictures of crib quilts from the 19th century. And I was like, maybe that would be a fun way to intersperse these pictures of the mill girls of Lowell. And the mill girls, the children, the girls who worked in the mills in New England during the Industrial Revolution. So the quilts that you're going to see, I'm going to read to you some stuff. And I'm going to go through these pictures. And you're going to see pictures like this of young girls who were working in mills in New England in the 19th century. And you're going to see these crib quilts too. I thought it would be nice because I don't want to just show you black and white photographs. I want to show you quilts too because, quilt nerd. And what they were doing at that time in these mills, fabric got cheap because they were paid very little. These children who were working in these mills, the proliferation of quilts in the 19th century, it's because people had so much fabric they could play around with it. It got so inexpensive because you had slaves in the South picking cotton for free. I'm putting scare quotes around that. And then you had child labor up in the North, and they were paid very little too. So you could make tons of fabric very inexpensively. So then we have all these quilts. Anyway, it's a complicated story, and that's why it's interesting. So I'm going to talk to you about the Mill Girls of Lowell. I'm going to read the Wikipedia entry, and I'm also looking at this book. The thing I keep brandishing, I can't do it. It's like a green book. It's the Lowell Offering. Okay, that's what I'm going to talk to you about. Benita Eisler wrote the introduction and did some commentary. She was an editor here. The Lowell Offering. Let me read the back of this book, and then I will get to the Wikipedia entry about all of this. Because there's the Mill Girls of Lowell, and then there's the Lowell Offering. So it's kind of two things, okay? The back of this book says, well, the New York Times blurbed it. They said, quote, an exciting and superb anthology, stimulating and original. The Lowell Offering, writings by New England mill women. Writings by New England mill women between 1840 and 1845. What could it be? The back of the book reads, they were a phenomenon, new to American society, and an economic force to be reckoned with. The mill women, the first female industrial wage earners in the United States. From the farms of New England, these hopeful young women flocked to the boarding house mills of Lowell, Massachusetts in the 1830s and 1840s. Lured by the highest wages offered to female employees anywhere in America, they sought and found independence and opportunity in the country's first planned industrial community. Even after a 70-hour work week, these young women found time and energy to write about their lives and aspirations in their own literary magazine, The Lowell Offering. Here in this book are letters, stories, essays, and sketches from that unique publication. Through these selections, exuberant, poignant, imaginative, we share the experiences of enterprising women who had caught, quote, a glimpse of something grand before us, unquote. Illustrated throughout with rare old engravings, textile labels, advertisements, and daguerreotypes, this anthology richly evokes America's past. And Nora Sayre also blurbs the book. She says, quote, a magnificent book, which brings the past totally alive. The voices of these eloquent young women yield the best kind of history, vivid, fresh, and varied. Yeah. Okay. So they made a literary journal. These girls in Lowell. Yeah, there's a lot to say about it. And if you want to get that book, which that's pretty good copy on the back of that book, makes me want to get it. You should use the Abe Books link that's in the chat. You should all get it, and you should all use that link so we get a little tip in the tip jar. Okay, so let me just look at the chat real quick because I don't want to miss any questions because I'm going to start reading and flicking through pictures. Hey, Richard's Thread. Oh my goodness. Richard's thread says James Taylor wrote a song of one working in Lowell Mill. Really? Well, maybe if we just keep being full of energy and Steph doesn't look too tired or murderous toward me, we'll listen to that song. Yes, so some of you know about this, and it's very interesting. Dee Dee, I see you. Well, thank you so much. I see your little fun pun. Your fun pun. Anyway, so I'm going to read the Wikipedia entry about the Lowell Mill girls, okay? And we're going to look at these beautiful quilts, and we're going to look at these girls, okay? Wikipedia. The Lowell Mill girls were young female workers who came to... Sorry, I'm doing this because Labor Day. Okay, I think I said that, but in case you just came in, Labor Day. The Lowell Mill girls were young female workers who came to work in the textile mills in Lowell, Massachusetts during the Industrial Revolution in the United States. The workers initially recruited by the corporations were daughters of New England farmers, typically between the ages of 15 and 35. By 1840, at the height of the textile revolution, interesting, the Lowell textile mills had recruited over 8,000 workers, with women making up nearly 3/4 of the mill force. During the early period, women came to the mills for various reasons: to help a brother pay for college, for the educational opportunities offered in Lowell, to earn supplemental income for the family. Frances Cabot Lowell emphasized the importance of providing housing and a form of education to mirror the boarding schools that were emerging in the 19th century. This quilt, by the way, a sampler crib quilt, was made in 1880. It's 37 inches square. All of these, remember, are children's quilts. That's just what I've sort of put together. And I liked it. I liked combining the two because so many of these, they were kids, right? They weren't children. I mean, yeah, they were children in some cases, but these were the quilts that you're looking at, were quilts they might have made for a younger sibling, or they might have had quilts like this before they went to the mills. And one thing too, because this is the show, it's interesting. There are a couple of videos I watched on YouTube about the mill girls of Lowell, and I love the guys. I have got a lot of good guys in my life, so I don't, patriarchy isn't a word that comes into this show that much, right? Because this is a very complicated thing. But I have to say that the two videos that I watched on the Lowell Mill girls were from these dudes who were like, they got paid so much and it was a great life. And I'm like, you know what? Hang on. It was complicated. The way I know, and this one guy, you guys, I'm sorry. I was like, let's see what videos are out there about the Lowell Mill girls. This is a couple days ago. I was like, I'm gonna do that, and he's just like, the camera is like at waist height, and he's got his he's got his legs sort of spread, and he's like, the mill girl. I'm like, we're not watching this. I don't know. It bothered me. I'm sorry. But anyway, the reason I mention that is because, oh, look at this wonderful block, is because it's a complicated situation. And the mill girls talk about this. I have a short excerpt from the Lowell offering that I'm going to read to you from a mill girl herself who says, it's not all bad, but it's not all good. And so a lot of people, when they talk about this phenomenon of these girls working in the mills, they sort of lionize the whole situation to say that it was just this great thing because these girls could go have independence and they could be, free, and they were with other women, and it was exciting because they were making a wage. But you have to remember the conditions. People died of black lung, right? Because they were inhaling fiber into their lungs. So nothing is ever quite so simple. So this is in a museum in Lowell. I do think the museum closed or something. Anyway, I don't know that for sure. Anyway, okay. But I wanted to say that. While their wages, hang on. Frances Cabot Lowell, who founded Lowell, Massachusetts, emphasized the importance of providing housing and a form of education to mirror the boarding schools that were emerging in the 19th century. He also wanted to provide an environment that sharply contrasted the poor conditions, okay, cool, of the British mills, notoriously portrayed by Dickens. While their wages were only half of what men were paid, the soundboard is like, great tonight, many women were able to attain economic independence for the first time, free from controlling fathers and husbands. See, that's what bugs me about this. Yeah, they were free from fathers and husbands, but they were also, socialism is not a word I use, I don't use either, but I mean, capitalism, whatever. But they're also, I mean, this was slave labor. I mean, this was indentured labor. So you just have to read with a critical eye. You just do, because it's like, I don't know, like who wrote it? Like, where are they coming from? All I care about is thinking. Like, I just want to think about things, and I want to, because I don't know anything. So when I read this, you know what I mean? I read this and I'm like, okay, cool. If I was 15, like I am free of my dad, but I also have a man who's the superintendent of my floor, and he's 30, and I have no power. You know what I mean? So, and that's true for little boys are working in mills too. So I'm kind of, on a tear here. But do you know what I mean? I mean, it's important. It's important, don't you?
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, factory work is hard today, but at least,
yes,
we have child labor laws, we have OSHA,
yes, right.
And it's still hard. It's a hard profession.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
Back in the day, it was especially hard.
Yes.
And it was, that's sort of where the capitalist, that's where the man comes from. The factory.
Yes,
man at the factory.
That's right. That's what Kant talked about, right? Alienation. You work all day to produce something. You have no idea what you're making, and you have no connection to what it is that you're making. Oh, Lord almighty. People are going to be like, Mary Fons is a communist. She's a red. She wears that shirt, turkey red. That's how we know. Sorry. Okay. Lord help me. Okay. Truncated autonomy. Oh, that's good. Okay. They got married young. Yep. Okay. It's okay. You're hearing me. Okay. Thank you. And okay. On average, Lowell mill girls earn between $3 and $4 a week. The cost of boarding ranged between 75 cents and $1.25, giving them the ability to acquire good clothes, books, and savings. The girls created book clubs and published journals such as the Lowell Offerings. Amazing, which provided a literary outlet for the girls with stories about life in the mills. The demands of factory life enabled these women to challenge gender stereotypes. Okay. Over time, adult women would displace child labor, which an increasing number of factory owners such as Lowell were disinclined to hire. Well, later he was. As the factory system matured, however, many women joined the broader American labor movement to protest increasingly harsh working conditions. Labor historian Philip Foner observed, quote, "They succeeded in raising serious questions about a woman's so-called place." Right? Labor Day. And in 1845, after a number of protests and strikes, many operatives came together to form the first union of working women in the United States, the Lowell Female Labor Reform Association. The association adopted a newspaper called The Voice of Industry, in which workers published sharp critiques of the new industrialism. The Voice stood in sharp contrast to other literary magazines published by female operatives. How about that? Isn't that interesting? I mean, wow. So
they were double pink pinkos, Mary.
What's that?
They were double pink pinkos.
They were double pink pinkos. You know what? Yeah, the pink is just a watered down red. So you know what that means. I know exactly. So here's what I'm going to do. So there's so many images to share. that what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read from the Lowell offering, because, here you've got my commentary about like, yeah, people say it was good, but it wasn't really. And we, now we're putting what we think, onto these girls' narrative, and it may not be the case, right? So let's hear from one of them. This is the Lowell. Steph, could you check and see, hey, J.H. Kazan. JH says it was the first industrial evolution with all its triumph, and yes, exactly, and yeah, it's complicated, right? Very complicated. Hey, Slow So, snaps from Mary. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. I love this image too. Sorry, Steph, could you check and see? I think the Lowell Textile History Museum closed. I feel like that happened. I hope I'm wrong, but this was from this image. So this is, look how tight it was, And I asked Ken Burns, I know I've told this story once before, but that's Ken Burns. While I was wearing my Hermes scarf. No, I asked him about, because he's a quilt collector, and I was like, the history of quilts is really complicated because you had slaves and you had child laborers and you had all this, the economics of quilts in America. It's kind of like, it's kind of dark sometimes because you had all this beautiful fabric, but it came at a price, right? And he said, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It looks like the Lowell, so it's the Boot Cotton Mills Museum. It's part of the National Historical Park of Massachusetts, which is National Park Service. I think, and it's the picture, it looks like the picture like you have. It's those machines.
Okay.
So I think I'm looking at the right thing.
Okay, good. I don't know where I came up with that.
It does still appear to be open.
Good. Lowell's a very pretty town, and the New England Quilt Museum is in Lowell, so you should absolutely go and pay it a visit. But Ken Burns said something, that like, quilts represent the best of us, and he said it more eloquently than that. But he's like, they're sort of the yield of the best of us. And yes, it's complicated. Everything's complicated. Everything is, sort of chaos and entropy. And, yeah, America is a complicated place. Quilts are beautiful, and they are made, now I'm like paraphrasing Ken Burns. I don't think I should do that. But anyway, he had a really good answer. So I was like, okay, it's okay to like quilts. Ken Burns said it was. Okay. This is a short excerpt from the Lowell offering from 1845. It was written by Anonymous. It's called A Week in the Mill. This quilt was made, this is 41 by 42 inches. Isn't it wonderful? It's the cutest little log cabin, Quilts for children looked like quilts for adults, there was no novelty fabric at that time, right? No Mickey Mouse, no, none of that. A Week in the Mill. Quote, "Much has been said of the factory girl and her employment. By some, she has been represented as dwelling in a sort of brick and mortar paradise, having little to occupy thought save the weaving of romantic fancies, while the spindle or the wheel flies obediently beneath her glance. Others have deemed her a mere servile drudge, chained to her labor by almost as strong a power as that which holds a bondman in his fetters. And indeed, some have already given her the title of, quote, the white slave of the North, unquote. Her real situation approaches neither one nor the other of these extremes. Her occupation is as laborious as that of almost any female who earns her own living, while it has also its sunny spots and its cheerful intervals, which make her hard labor seem comparatively pleasant and easy. Look at her as she commences her weekly task. The rest of the Sabbath, Saturday, has made her heart and her step light, and she is early at her accustomed place, awaiting the starting of the machinery. Everything having been cleaned and neatly arranged on the Saturday night, she has less to occupy her on Monday than other days." This is the statue that's outside the museum. "And you may see her leaning from the window to watch the glitter of the sunrise on the water, or looking away at the distant forests and fields while memory wanders to her beloved country home, or it may be said that she is conversing with a sister laborer near, returning at regular intervals to see that her work is in order. Soon the breakfast bell rings. In a moment, the whirling wheels are stopped, and she hastens to join the throng, which is pouring through the open gate. At the table, she mingles with a various group. Each dispatches the meal hurriedly, though not often in silence, and if, as is sometimes the case, the rules of politeness are not punctiliously observed by all, the excuse of some lively country girl would be, "They don't give us time for manners." The short half hour is soon over. The bell rings again, and now our factory girl feels that she has commenced her day's work in earnest. The time is often apt to drag heavily till the dinner hour arrives. Perhaps some part of the work becomes deranged and stops, and scans the features and dress of its inmates inquiringly, and there is little else to break the monotony. The afternoon passes in much the same manner. Now and then she mingles with a knot of busy talkers who have collected to discuss some new occurrence, or holds pleasant converse with some intelligent and agreeable friend, whose acquaintance she has formed since her factory life commenced. But much of the time she is left to her own thoughts. While at her work, the chattering and rumbling around her prevent any other noise from her attention, and she must think, or her life would be dull indeed. Thus the day passes on, and evening comes, the time which she feels to be exclusively her own. How much is done in the 3 short hours from 7 to 10 o'clock? She has a new dress to finish, a call to make on some distant companion, a meeting to attend. There is a lecture or a concert at some one of the public halls, and the attendance will be thin if she and her associates are not present, or if nothing more imperative demands of her time, she takes a stroll through the street or the river with some of her mates, or sits down at home to peruse a new book. At 10 o'clock, all is still for the night. The clang of the early bell awakens her to another day, very nearly the counterpart of the one which preceded it. And so the week rolls on in the same routine till Saturday comes. Saturday, the welcome sound. She busies herself to remove every particle of cotton and dust from her frame or looms, cheering herself meanwhile with sweet thoughts of the coming Sabbath. And when, at an earlier hour than usual, the mill is stopped, it looks almost beautiful in its neatness. Unquote. I mean, as usual, hearing from the person is better, right? And that's just one person. You know, this magazine, the Lowell Offering that they published for 5 years, and then actually it was picked up again. I was reading about it. It was published again for a little while. But, you know, surely there were other accounts. I haven't read, you know, there's not enough time, and you know, anyway. But surely there were people who were not so, like, it's okay. Like, it's not great, but it's okay. You know, like she,
you know,
yeah.
To me, it sounded well, and I noticed she did use the word inmate.
Oh.
Did she not use the word inmate at one point?
Yeah, maybe she did.
Or did I hear that wrong?
Maybe she did.
I feel like on one hand, it resonated with me in terms of like, have you ever had one of those jobs, and maybe you're in one of those jobs now, where you wake up and you go to work and you do the thing and you do the thing and you do the thing and you come home and you do more things and you go to bed and then you wake up again and start all over again.
Yeah.
You know, that resonates with me because I've been there. But on the other hand, it almost sounds like it's so regimented. It sounds like prison.
Yeah.
And I mean, essentially is. It was, with the exception of, I guess, their Sabbath. It was like prison.
I mean, they just worked, you know, all the time. They had that time at night, but I mean, that's 10 o'clock. That's late, you know. And they had this time. So, yeah, I mean, and yet she's like, I could go to a meeting. There's an event, you know, and I love that. It's like, if I don't show up, the attendance will be thin, you know, and that's I feel the same way about Quiltner. You got to show up, because if you don't, the attendance will be thin, and that's no good. So, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting compared to our lives today. I mean, it just looks so different. And that's, and M. Hicks, I wanted to say, they're all baby quilts. Yes, they're all baby quilts. For that video that I'm working on, sort of comparing briefly baby quilts of yesteryear to baby quilts of today. But yeah, I mean, life just looks so different now. And I will read this. Charles Dickens, this is from the Wikipedia. Charles Dickens visited in 1842 the Lowell Mills, Charles Dickens, and remarked favorably on the conditions. Look, Chuck.
This is 10 times better than back home.
Yeah, exactly. With the tenement houses and the everyone. Yeah, oh God. He remarked. So Dickens, quote, "I cannot recall or separate one young face that gave me a painful impression. Not one young girl whom, assuming it to be a matter of necessity that she should gain her daily bread by the labor of her hands, I would have removed from those works if I had had the power." Unquote. However, there was a concern among many workers that foreign visitors were being presented with a sanitized view of the mills by textile corporations who were trading on the image of the literary operative, right, to mask the grim realities of factory life. "Very pretty picture," wrote an operative named Juliana in the Voice of Industry, responding to a rosy account of life and learning in the mills. Juliana said, quote, "But we who work in the factory know the sober reality to be quite another thing altogether." The sober reality that she spoke of was 12 to 14 hours of dreary, exhausting work, which many workers experienced as hostile to intellectual development. So, like anything worth, looking at, this is very complicated, because, I mean, they were out of the under the watchful eye. They were no longer under the watchful eye of, perhaps bad actors, in their small towns, but they also had men who loved them and protected them in some cases, right? There were, there's good dads, who so yeah, it's complicated, but I don't know. It's just a fascinating thing. And so that's it, you guys. I wanted to share. Oh yeah, Jackson.
The good news is Penny Catherine has determined that even though it does sound like they kind of were living in a prison-like environment, that inmates was simply an old-fashioned term for people living in community together.
I was like, maybe she used it in a different way, but yeah. I mean, they were not. I don't know. Yeah, that was interesting. That quote, right, from that one girl was like, it looks great. I mean, and who knows the motivation for that girl to write that piece? Who knows? And I don't want to put stuff on them that they didn't say themselves.
Well,
but
I mean, I also, I think a couple people have said, I mean, that's just your reality. That's the time, and that's just your reality. And there's some people are just like that. They're just this is my reality. I'm gonna make the best of it. And I mean, she had stuff going on.
Yep. And I mean, I'm kind of that person who's like, it's not great, but there's some good stuff about it. Like that's problem. I look on the bright side most of the time. The existential despair just is a constant. But then on top of that is like, it's not so bad. So that is a shout out to the Mill Girls of Lowell for Labor Day. They did a lot, and all those children, right? All those mill workers and Industrial Revolution, the miners and everybody. Thank you for making a work week that's not the whole week. I mean, we have to thank you, Lucy and Desi. Okay, I'm making a poll real quick. If we're gonna cut away from quilts at this point. We're gonna watch a couple movie trailers. I hope you enjoyed. For the people who are here just for the quilts, totally cool. We're talking about watching a movie together because this is a community and we have all kinds of desires. Okay, and I want to do a watch party on Twitch because we're able to do that legally. Wait for your laugh. I screened three documentaries that I thought would be fun for us. And there's I have so many baby quilts. I have so many. Okay. All right. You wait till the video comes out. You'll really like the video that I'm gonna make, and it's coming along. Okay. So I am going to show you three trailers. Okay. I don't know if people are gonna bail for this or not. I don't know. 3 trailers. I watched half of each of these to see. All of these are available for us to watch for free if you're an Amazon Prime member. And so we'll figure out a time for it. I don't know. Maybe it'll be, Saturday afternoon. I don't know. Brunch. Should we do brunch? Waffles and brunch, watch party brunch, mimosas.
I do like the idea of, sleeping in and having a little watch party brunch.
You know what? That. Okay, if you like that, and I know you're not an early riser, so like at 11 a.m. mimosa and waffles, watch a movie, that's happening. It's happening. It's going to happen. It's happening. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch 3 previews. And I'm going to show each one. I got them all loaded up. Here we go. And Lucy and Desi is the first one, so we're gonna watch that first. Some people weren't super into it, but it's an option. It's an option. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna watch these trailers, and then we're gonna do a poll, and we're gonna see which one wins, and whichever one wins, that's the movie that we're gonna watch. Hang on. Okay, you ready? Here we go. These are all trailers, so they're very short. And then we'll do the poll, okay? Here we go. Communism? I'm sorry, did they say? Okay, there's
yes,
no...
Lucille Ball had a little problem.
That's right, she did. Yeah. When has communism ever come up on this show? And twice in one night. It happens all the time. This is a weird thing. It's weird. Let's continue. You guys, it looks pretty good. I love documentaries. It's like almost all I watch. I don't know about Lucy and Desi. I don't know. I never watched I Love Lucy, but women that I admire love her. And I have to tell you, we have the same birthday, August 6th. I know, August 6th. Okay, so that's number 1. So when we take our poll, Lucy and Desi is number 1. The second one that I thought looked pretty awesome. Actually, I'll save that for the next one. I don't want to follow it. Okay, the second one, The Booksellers. Because I thought that this one looked a little bit like it would appeal to quilt makers because it's about rare book nerds. That's right, rare book nerds. Let's see what they have to say and if we have something in common with these people. You ready? Great.
It's a film crew here at the moment. A friend of mine's doing a documentary on booksellers, and I'm a bookseller.
It would be very interesting to stop somebody on the street and say, if I say rare book dealer, what do you think of?
Older man, elbow patches, tweed. The Strand was founded by my grandfather in an area called Book Row.
I don't think I need to tell you, all of these are very highly rated. I didn't pick like some weirdo, but sometime I did put in my queue a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie because I think that'd be super fun to watch together. Okay, sorry.
Our business was started by our father in 1925.
People always asked him, how did you get all 3 daughters to work for you? And he would say, I guess I'm just lucky. In the 1950s, there were 368 bookstores in New York City. Today, I went and counted, and there are 79.
One of the things I remember about those guys, they were very irritated if you wanted to buy a book. They were there.
Fran's in it. Okay, I mean, she's my hero. She's my number 1 hero. Okay, I'm just saying.
So they could read all day.
Collecting is about the hunt. The internet has killed the hunt.
What the internet did was change the way we talked about what was rare. For a lot of dealers, it was devastating, and it destroyed their livelihood.
A lot of people wonder, where's the future of this industry going?
It is consistently my experience as a younger dealer that I'm talking to older dealers who are so pessimistic and they're saying, I don't know what you're going to do. And I'm like, I have so many ideas.
We're part of a boom in independent bookshops that really engage with their neighborhood in a way that the old chain stores never did.
I think it has to come with a love of the material. A good bookseller absolutely is another kind of discoverer and thinker of history.
The people that I see reading actual books on the subway are mostly in their 20s. This is one of the few encouraging things you will ever see in a subway.
There's There's obviously a love for it. It's frustrating at times. Is this something you wake up and you say, thank God I found this?
What else would you rather do?
Oh my God, you
Here's the
guys!
unusual title, Amish Love. Wow, that's quite a picture.
Oh, we know about Amish love. You know what? You know where they did it. Where Amish love took place under a quilt, an Amish quilt. I got folders of them. You guys, now listen. I didn't watch that whole trailer because I like to watch stuff with you. I'd say that's a contender. I think
it is definitely leading. Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all, that is us. It's a parallel universe. You know what? My mom always said that quilt conventions should be scheduled at the same convention center as like the astronomers convention, so that like the nerdy, like the quilters can like meet the rare booksellers and the quilters, you guys.
Mary, I told you about that astrophysicist thing I listened to the other day.
That's right.
Aqua. Yeah.
The science quilt.
Yes, other nerds make great bedfellows.
Oh, sounds good to me. Yes. I mean, Eric is the nerdiest nerd ever, and we get along just fine. Okay. So booksellers. Okay. Now, wait for your laugh. Now, this might be an outlier, but you know what? This thing, wait till you see. Just wait. Just you wait. This one you might not know about, but just wait. What if I just kept you waiting? Okay, let's go. It's called Wait for Your Laugh, 2017.
Believe me when I tell you, she's the history of show business.
Every phase of entertainment for literally 87 years.
Paved your own way.
I'm sorry, the best documentary about a celebrity I have ever seen, Carl Reiner. The best documentary. Okay.
She was no pushover, that's for sure. Was she stubborn? Was she sweet all the time? Was she a pain in the ass? She was all of those things.
The minute she was born, the doctor slapped her and she started singing.
She was a star at 4.
She was the biggest singing star in America before Shirley Temple was even born.
She didn't sound like a little girl. Somebody put a wrong box in there. Once in a while she would mention some of the tough guys she knew back then.
You're working for the mob, the so-called mob.
They treated her like a daughter.
She opened the Flamingo for Bugsy Siegel.
Okay, I know. It's a trailer. It's supposed to keep you excited. You don't want me to stop. But listen, the reason I picked this, because we've got Lucy, I Love Lucy and Desi, okay? But the thing is about history, and the thing is about mass media, is that Lucy gets a lot of attention, right? She gets more attention. But then there's these other people, right? And these both happen to be, contemporary, whatever, they're these ladies. There's a lot of similarities, let's put it that way. But, I know what Lucy looks like. I don't know what this woman looks like. So, I'm just saying, okay, all right. Because I know they're similar, but it's all designed. That's all.
She was crazy in love with him, and he was crazy in love with her. And there was a lot of problems.
She developed a well-rounded character that everybody loved, Sally.
That show was surrounded with guys.
And we made jokes about the fact that nobody took into account the fact that she was a lady.
Here was this woman fighting for her position in the show and in real life.
They didn't move like their age.
And they're sold out. They were rock stars. And what was going on backstage? Chaos. Any performer is good as their last show.
She's never stopped working, ever. In her case, it's a drug. It's something that she has to do.
Superb.
You can't be in the business all your life without being tough.
And she's the only one left.
Rosemary.
Did I tell you this story? Are you rolling? God love you. God love you.
Yes! Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta tap it back.
Rosemary.
Rosemary. Can I tell you this story? Are you rolling? God love you. God love you.
Oh man, it looks so good. Okay, so we're doing a watch party. If you just joined us, we talk about quilts here, but you know what? We're well-rounded people. We do whatever we want. So we're gonna do a watch party, and it's gonna be brunch. And you know what's great about brunch stuff? All of our friends across the pond, they can watch and they can drink mimosas, because you know what? They can drink whatever they want. But like, if it's 11 a.m., it's like 7 a.m. for Susanna. 7 p.m. So our friends in the UK, it'll be like happy hour. Okay, on Sunday. So
yeah,
right?
like happy hour. You know, I think I've been watching. I don't know if you've been watching the chat. There's a lot of everyone loving all three.
Okay. Well, we can do all three. You know, we can do all three. We don't have any rules. So here, I'm going to do the poll right now, and we're going to choose. And the people who aren't watching right now, you know what? You're going to be able to tune in live at some point, and you'll be able to vote which movie, which one of these docs should we watch together? Okay. Should we watch it's tough. Lucy and Desi. Sorry. The book sellers. What if, you know what's going to happen? Because this is how it happens. Wait for your laugh. I'm going to put the poll up for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, so here's why our friends in YouTube land and Facebook. Facebook didn't work tonight. I don't know why, but the party's at Twitch, right? The party's at Twitch. We vote over here. You can subscribe over here. It's just it's how we can work it today. But so if you're here in Twitch, the poll is up at the top of the chat. And here's what's going to happen is that the watch parties are going to be more. We're going to have like 5,000 people in the watch party. I don't know. I mean, probably not. I don't think my commentary is going to be that sparkling and amazing. But it's fun. And what's fun about it is that, I mean, copyright is crazy. You know, we looked at Pale Gray Labs not long ago. And that brilliant artist was talking about how copyright is really, I mean, I don't know. I read more of the work that she's done, and she talked about how copyright is really, I don't know. It's kind of complicated. It's kind of a drag sometimes, because like, why shouldn't we be able to watch How to Make an American Quilt on this show? And you can say, well, the artists don't get paid. But anyway, she has a brilliant, she's done a lot of work on copyright and how copyright doesn't necessarily help the artist. It helps the publisher. Anyway, I don't know enough to talk about that intelligently, but I do know that watch parties on Twitch via Amazon Prime are available. And I think that sounds really fun. So wait, is it up? Is the poll up? Are people, okay, good. I wonder what people will pick.
Mary, I'm trying to remember. I know we kind of read about it. I read about it a little bit, but so the watch party, it's like a separate link, right? Like, and you have to put in your Amazon, like if you have an Amazon Prime?
That is a very, very good question. I watched a video about it from Twitch, and like I'll be on the screen. I won't be like down in the corner, but it's like it divides your screen a little bit. I don't know for sure, but that's a really good question, and I will.
The pie and the cake will figure it out.
The pie and the cake will figure it out, and thank God. But yeah, it'll. Yeah, I'm not sure. But if you're a subscriber, you don't have to be a subscriber to watch. I think you should totally be a subscriber. It really helps me out. But you do have to have Amazon Prime in order to watch a watch party on Twitch. You don't have to be an Amazon Prime subscriber to watch this show, but to do the watch party, you do. Steph, can I ask you a question? Sure. And if your answer is I'll get back to you, that's literally fine. I don't know if I've ever put anyone on the spot more, but like. Could we do this like on Sunday? Could we do it this Sunday or next Sunday? The 11th or the 18th? Wait, or Saturday. Wait, no, but there's a show on Saturday. Listen, I can't believe I'm doing this to you. Just get back to me. I'm sorry. I take it back. I'm taking it all back. Let me know later
I think we could probably announce it sometime this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll know.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was like super uncool. I'm just like, I have time. Let me just, with your family, tell you what you're going to be doing. Okay. I mean, just. Okay, so let's see how the poll's doing. We don't have too much time left, so you got to vote. I am very curious about what people are gonna say. What's in the lead?
I think there's a clear winner.
Oh, okay. I got it. Who's in the lead? What's in the lead?
Booksellers is in the lead.
Booksellers is in the lead. I love that Booksellers is in the lead. I like that very much. Very much, actually. You all are great. I love that. Okay, poll ended. Oh, no, that's not that one. That's not that one. Where's my poll? Okay. Yeah, it's almost, it's okay. Okay. Do you want me to end the poll? Are people still voting? I could end the poll. Should I end it? Should I let it go? I'm going to let it roll. Got a little bit more.
Yeah, it looks, yeah.
Okay.
Looks like a few more people might vote. I don't know.
That's good. Well, there was something else. Well, I mean, we could look over that. Was it Jackson Brown? Did that Mill Girl song?
James Taylor?
James Taylor. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to do.
I put it in the Slack because I wasn't sure where you wanted to play it, but I can put it, I can also put it on the chat here.
You know what? I've got my browser up. Jackson Brown. What should I look for? Mill Girls?
No, James Taylor, Mill Worker. Yeah, James Taylor, Mill Worker.
Taylor, Mill Worker. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's look at it. Mill Worker. James Taylor. I'll definitely get copyright struck for this, but I'll clip it out. I mean, copyright claim. Do we have closed caption? We don't have. Sorry. Oh, the poll ended.
You're safe if you don't play it longer than 10 seconds, right?
Okay, good. Because, they suggested Creedence Clearwater Revival, Proud Mary. Don't twist my arm. Okay, actually the poll ended, so now I don't have to clip anything out of the stream, and we can do the poll. View results. The Booksellers. By a mile. We're gonna watch the Booksellers, you guys. We're gonna watch it together. And we're gonna have brunch, and we're gonna have fun times together. And it's not gonna be about quilts, but it probably will be, but it won't be. You know what I mean? Okay. That'll be super fun. And so we'll let you know. So a reason to be a subscriber is, you get access to the Discord, and probably the Discord is the first place that we let people know about show schedule changes and additions and all that stuff. So it's a great place to be, and you can share pictures of the quilts you're making and stuff like that. It's a good time, And so yeah, you should be a subscriber. I think that would be great. I've said it a lot. Necessity is the mother of invention. Necessity is also the creator of a salesperson. So, Stephanie Cake, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching the show and coming by, and our YouTube friends and Facebook. I don't know what happened tonight, but we'll figure it out. I love talking about this stuff, and I love hanging out with you. And so clearly I want to hang out with you more because I want to watch movies with you. So Ivana, I saw you, by the way, say that Fran Lebowitz is the best. She is indeed. She is my spirit. She's my spirit hero. I don't want to call her a spirit animal. That sounds weird. Anyway, thanks everybody. Thank you, Stephanie Cake. Thank you, Susanna the Pie, for helping out with marketing and all that stuff. I can't do it. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, Robin and Penny, everybody. Auntie Sin, the name of the song is Mill Worker. One word, Mill Worker. And I will, will the watch party save on Twitch, or do you have to be there? It's a very good question, Riggs. I don't know, but we'll find out. I'll find out, and I will let you know. The cookie or the donut.
We'll find out and post this week.
I want cookie. Auntie Sin, I want to be cookie. Okay. Okay, bye. I'm not going to cut the stream off either. I'm going to do the outro. Okay.